Hi, my name is Rawi. I heard all the time about how people say that, okay, you can have the idea, you can have the uh, preparation, you can study about something all you want, but it never really matter until you do it yourself. Okay, and I have experience to share with you about it. About over 10 years ago, I get a chance to go to Yosemite National Park in California for the first time, and that was actually one of my dream trip coming to America because I remember a long time ago that I saw so many beautiful pictures on a calendar that I thought, oh, this place is so beautiful, and uh, all of them were the picture of Yosemite National Park. So I get a chance to have one of my friends to join me on the trip. We were planning about 3 months before we went to the trip in California. Uh, we read about it. I prepared myself going to uh, exercise at the gym a little bit and uh, hike with about 20 pounds uh, in my backpack and walk about 10 miles, uh, every day for about 3 months before we went there because we were planning on going to one of the highest peak in the park called Crowd Rest Trail, and uh, it was I did not remember how high it is, but it's pretty high. Okay, so we study and prepare ourselves about 3 months, like I said. When the time comes, okay, we went there right on the airplane, get a um, rental car, bought some food over there, some water, uh, have all our hiking gear, all the tent, the robe, and uh, yeah, food in the bag. Okay, and when we got to the park, it was already uh, in the fall, and it was dark, it was cold, about 30-degree Fahrenheit already, about I think between 8 and 9 p.m. So the ranger station was already closed, and we have to do the self-registration, uh, writing on the form saying who we are, where we came from, what we were planning to do in the park, and how long we were planning to stay, something like that. So we put the form into the ranger box and went in. Uh, the first night, we did not have a lot of uh, knowledge about um, where we can really go yet because it was dark and we cannot see the way very clearly. So we went to the place we planned on first, that they already set up tent and the share public restroom and shower that we can use, and they already also have the bear proof box that they call in the park, which we can put the backpack on, all the food that we bought, and um, all the belongings that we think it should be uh, away from the bears. Because the bears, as we study, can have the better sense of smell than the dogs. So they know if we bring some good kind of food and what they really want to eat, you know. So uh, we put our backpack and everything in a box, get into the tent that already set up, uh, trying to go to sleep, and about I think 11:30 at night, I woke up hearing like someone was pounding on a metal box, those bear-proof box, bang, 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 and uh, my my tent was close enough, about I would say less than 50 feet from that box. So I pick out the tent a little bit, and I saw a big bear. Yeah, try to get into the box that me and my friend we put our backpack and the food in it. So uh, uh, sure enough, the bear can smell. But the box also working, so it cannot get into what's in there. And I believe, if I remember right, someone came in and tried to chase the bear away, and it went away. So that was my first encounter of any big wildlife that close. Okay, and in the morning we woke up, getting ready, went out and uh, had some breakfast, and after that we were planning the trip by parking our rental car at the trail end, and we went try to go to the beginning of the trail on the other side of the mountain by hitchhiking. And actually, Yosemite is probably one of the place you can do that safely, because so many people doing it, and so many people were willing to pick up the hitchhiker, in the park. And we tried like almost 20 cars actually that morning. Nobody picked us up, probably because we look a little dirty. Yeah, so and actually there was one minivan, or should I say the old van, the Volkswagen van, like during the hippie period, came in and picked us up. Inside we went in. Oh, it has very good smells of what the weed. And a few people in a van, I think three, two girls and one guy in there, and it asked us, where you want to go? And I said, okay, we go to the Rest trail, and they know where it is, and they dropped us there. Okay, we get down there and starting the trail, and thank you, give them a thank you, and start walking up the mountain. We started around, I believe it was before 8 o'clock in the morning. By the time we getting close to the trail end, I would say that it's closer to 5 o'clock in the evening already. So we spent the whole day hiking up from the bottom of the mountain up to the top of it. We could see the El Capitan mountain, the big granite mountain, El Capitan, the very well-known, I would say, symbol of the Yosemite National Park, down below us. So that's how high it was, and the air was very thin. As we're getting closer to the mountaintop, I would say to the summit, we have to walk like only about 100 feet and rest. We could not breathe enough, and it was so tiresome. We had a lot of fatigue from walking up the mountain all day long already. And once we went up that high, the air was so thin, we could hardly catch our breath, with about, actually at a time, about 40 pounds on our back each. So that was pretty tough thing to do, and I would say that I thought I was gonna die up there from not able to catch my breath. But we were lucky enough, we had the nice weather to go on that day, and no big animal we encounter going up. So it went out pretty well. We reached the summit, the Rest summit, for if I remember right, about 6:30 in the evening, and we get a very brief period to take pictures, actually a few pictures, and come down. since it's getting dark so quickly at that time, we have to come down about maybe almost an hour before we find a place that we want to rest there. And it has the big open area enough to rest, and it's still higher up. We still can see the El Capitan below us. So we set up our own tent and sleep in it, and we woke up in early morning before the sunrise, trying to catch the first glimpse of the sunrise in the park. And to my amaze, we were lucky enough to see how the cloud formed. I never saw such thing before. Maybe a few of you had it, but what happened was we were in the mountain high enough to see a lot of mountain below us, and I could see the fog forming, around the mountain, and it came close together and come down the hill between the mountain and rise up together, became cloud. And that was so amazing to me. It's the first time I saw something like that. And we set up a little fire, cook up some coffee, and grill some hot dog, and waiting for the sun to rise. And when the sun did rise in the east, it was amazing view, but we could not catch or capture the picture because the way that the sun was so bright in the morning, and I was not much of a photographer, so I didn't have the picture with me, but it stayed in my heart forever. On the way down, after we put everything in a backpack, we had to take turns to lead, between two of us, because the trail was pretty, I would say, steep, and one side of us is the steep hill up, one side of it is the steep hill down, or the mountain down, or it was called a cliff at that time. So about halfway through, before we reached the falls, the Yosemite Falls, I heard a little cracking near and in front of me. I look up, and there it was, big elk. Just a few feet away from me, I could actually smell the breath of that elk. My friend was about 10 feet away from me. Behind me, I thought he was stunned and just say my name so quietly, I look at the elk. It looked back at me in the eyes. We were staring at each other. I thought, oh boy, if the elk came to me, that was the end of me. I could not survive that day. But lucky enough, the elk went away the other way, and we were able to sit down and catch our breath and talk about that moment for a few minutes and came back down. Okay, we came back down to the fall. I believe it was Yosemite Fall, I'm not sure, but it was a big and beautiful waterfalls, and had our lunch near the falls, and came back down to our rental car. Here's my son. Come on, Austin. Come on. Daddy's on video. Okay. Okay. You can sleep now. Okay, so that was pretty good and pretty tough experience to have, I believe. And so that told me that whatever you prepare for or whatever you imagine and think about may not be exactly the same, and you cannot prepare for everything. Everything will happen right in front of you when you are doing it. And a lot of time it brings very good experience. It brings an amazing, uh, I would say, memory, you know, about how you deal with it, about how you take yourself in a moment, and I would say survive. Yeah. So it was a good trip. We spent a couple more days hiking without a big animal near us and without any risk of falling down the cliff and die. So we went to that redwood park where we saw the big redwood and stop a few places in between. On the way down, I accidentally ran one stop sign, and the lady ranger, caught it, and I almost got a ticket for it. But anyway, it was a good experience going to the park. Yeah, and that taught me a lot about what you can do and deal with the moment. No matter how hard you study, no matter how hard you try, there are always a few unexpected event that can happen. And it's actually how you study and how you prepare for it that will help you getting through it and probably survive to tell about it. Okay, so that's how it is. What I want to share today. It may be a little long, I'm sorry, but I don't think there's any other way to put it any shorter. Okay, so thank you for watching, and this is unexpected. Okay, have a nice evening. Thank you for watching.